Respect
she spit
it.
more bars on this show than a lot of these A-list rappers who be scared to rhyme on this show.
Come on.
Okay. Not only that, she's a fitness guru now.
Is that what you putting on? Oh, baby.
She's in the lineage of Debbie Allen and Michael White. She's also a choreographer.
Okay.
Now, Sway, baby, listen, I appreciate it, but I can't let you go that far. Because Debbie Allen's still alive and she'd kick my ass and say, no, sugar. I got to give credit where credit is due. His name is Dwight Hope Jr. That's the brother that's teaching me how to move like that. I just had to clear that up because I can't take it from the greats.
Well, I was going to shout him out too because he goes bonkers.
Bonkers.
Like he's doing things. It's like Cirque du Soleil.
Right.
Yes.
And I would imagine that was dangerous. Well, Tonex, welcome to the show, man. Good
Thanks for the love, baby.
Hey,
Always.
Come on.
Good to be in here with the fam.
Come on.
You know how we do.
Let's get back to this choreography.
Let's get in it.
When I first started watching you do it, and I was thinking, how empowering is this? And he would initially do the moves and do the steps, and then, how is she going to do that?
Yes.
And then you would jump right in.
I would say to Dwight, baby, I'm old enough to be your mother. And he would say, so what? Let's go. And that's been for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
So 4 years, 100 pounds later, that little beautiful young man who will be in Queens, New York tomorrow at Innovation Studios, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be there.
You're gonna be
because
there?
these young gals, they've been challenging me, Heather B. They've been challenging me, baby. They've been trying to do moves and things, trying to look at me in the camera like, Monique, what you got? So I told them tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. me and Heather B.
Heather's going?
Okay, I told them that, Heather. I told them that.
Usually reserved for my hangover time, but
Okay.
I got you though.
But I told them, I say, me and my sister, we're going to show you young gals how you shake it and move it. Okay, because they be trying to show us up, Heather B. We can't see good. And damn it, sometime our hearing ain't all the way straight, but our feet and our hips and the curvature of our ass can keep on going.
I got Monique call me, I gotta go.
What is it going? Throw a beat on, man. I'm
No.
on it.
Dance contest.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
You don't want that.
Uh-oh. Get it. I'ma move before she hit me in my head.
That's all I'm going to give y'all because what I've learned is Beyonce steals.
Wait a minute.
Okay, that's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. Some of my moves. Okay, some of my things. Beyonce and J-Lo, they be watching the Instagram the dances and they be taking our steps. So I just want to put it out there. Stop stealing.
J-Lo.
Say something, but I love B and I didn't.
I love B.
Yeah.
I love B and I love Blue. Okay, and I love all of them. I love the whole family. But you got to give me mine. But God damn it, nobody wants to give me my credit, baby.
Get your credit.
And it doesn't even stop with entertainers.
Get your credit.
I lurk your social media, and I saw this Instagram clip that you put up. And by the way, before we go into this, Monique is performing tonight at Levity Live at 7:30 and 9:45 p.m. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. She's going to perform after she does the class with Have a Beat.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Y'all don't even know the message I'm going to get on my DM from Heather B when I leave here this morning, baby. I'm accepted, though. I'm accepted.
So, one of the times you were here, I'm going to say last time, whenever there's something that goes on, I always invite you up to kind of explain it because the public always gets you misconstrued.
Yes.
And before it was some other dealings that you had with another company. That's last year, so I don't like to go back.
But it's actually all tied in, but we'll make it make sense.
It's all tied in?
Yes.
Okay. Well, when Empire, you were going through the grievances with Empire and...
not Empire.
I'm not Empire.
Lee Daniels.
Yes. I'm sorry. Lee Daniels. And you brought up some emails here and proved to us the communication that you guys were having at that point, so people didn't think you were just going off the deep end.
Yes.
You wanted to show folks, this is what was going on in my life.
Yes.
And I brought it up here to show you guys. Now there's something with Netflix.
Yes.
And we saw you post this on your social media.
Hey, my loves. I am asking that you stand with me and boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias. I was offered a $500,000 deal last week to a comedy special. However, Amy Schumer was offered $11 million, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle $20 million. Then Amy Schumer went back and renegotiated $2 more million because she said I shouldn't get what the men are getting, their legends. However, I should get more, and Netflix agreed.
So you want folks to protest because of what? You said gender bias?
and color bias.
And color bias. Break this down.
So last week,
Yeah.
we got an offer from Netflix. The offer was for $500,000. So when my husband, who was my manager,
Yeah.
Sydney, he had sent, let me go all the way back. Before we even get to the deal. The first insult was, Netflix had to send someone out to see my performance.
Okay.
So that's really an audition. They sent 2 of their representatives out.
Well, you get this up there.
Thank you, Sugar. They sent 2 of their representatives out to see if they liked my show.
Okay.
One representative's name was Caitlin. And her response back when she saw the show, thank you all so much for your help. She put on a great show.
And that's on the email right here.
Yes, from
Let me
Netflix.
see that.
That's the Netflix email. That's from their representative from Netflix.
Okay.
Now, they
All
also
right.
sent out another representative. His name was Benjamin.
Okay.
Benjamin then sent us back an email that said, amazing show. Thank you for inviting me. Can we please have 2 more tickets for the show tomorrow? Okay? So when we then wait for the deal and we get the deal is for $500,000.
Wow.
My husband, Sidney, who is also my manager, he asked Robbie Prawl, who is the vice president at Netflix of comedy, he said, can you please explain how come Monique has this deal and Amy Schumer gets this deal and Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, and they're rightfully so.
Yeah.
They should get what they're getting. Could you please explain that? Well, initially, he wouldn't even get back on the phone to have the conversation. Every time we had scheduled, Robbie Prawl was too busy. He couldn't speak with any of us. And then my husband sent them back an email saying we would be interested to think what the public would think, that you're saying Amy Schumer is $12.5 million more than Monique, and Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle is $19.5 million more than Monique. We just like an explanation. So at that point, then Robbie Prawl, his schedule got free because we were saying this looks like racial and gender discrimination. So then he got free, and they got on the line with their attorneys, and they were speaking with my husband, Sidney, and our attorney, Ricky Anderson, and they were speaking in reference to trying to explain how they came up with these numbers. So my husband says to Robbie Prawl at Netflix, can you please explain how come these numbers are so different? And Robbie Prawl said, well, we do our deals based on anticipation. And we anticipate that Monique is worth $500,000. So Sidney then said, well, based off of Monique's resume, she has 45 awards from around the world. She had a #1 sitcom. He ran down my resume.
Yeah.
Robbie Prawl said, resumes don't matter with us. That's not how we do our formula. It's just totally based off what we anticipate you're going to do. So Sidney then said, well, what is it about Amy Schumer that she would get $11 million, then negotiate $2 more million? And Robbie Prawl said, well, she sold out Madison Square Garden twice, and she had a hit movie over the summer. And then my husband said, is that not you giving us her resume? That's her resume.
Yeah.
We know, but I mean, we understand what Monique's done. And by the way, Monique is a legend. Now, those are Robbie Prawl's exact words from Netflix. She is a legend, but we just anticipate that this is what she's worth. So then they said, well, we'll go back, after they had the conversation with my husband and attorney, we'll go back and we'll talk to the team and we'll see what we come up with. Well, they did come back, and they said, we're too far off in numbers, so thank you, but no thank you.
Wow, so they didn't even want to negotiate up.
So when I say, the reason why I'm asking that we boycott Netflix is because when Netflix says that I am a legend, Amy Schumer says Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock are legends, and I shouldn't get what they're getting. And if you put our resumes side by side, and the tenure, if you put Monique and Amy Schumer side by side, in 2008, I believe Amy Schumer was doing background work. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging it.
Yeah.
But do you know my career? Do you know the resume? I'm asking you, Sway.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, do you think that I deserve to get what the legends got because Netflix considered me a legend? Or do you think that I should get the $500,000 because for some reason a black woman that's a legend doesn't deserve what a white woman who's a journeyman gets? Does that make sense?
Not when you put it like that. And knowing who you are and your brand, I do definitely think that you're worth millions of dollars for a Netflix special. I don't know how. Dave Chappelle is Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Chris Rock is Chris Rock.
Yes.
Not even taking anything away from Amy Schumer.
No.
And I don't think that's what necessarily you're doing.
Please let me be clear.
Yeah, okay.
Sister Amy Schumer supposed to get what she gets.
Okay.
If that's what her people negotiated, that's what she's supposed to get. By no means am I saying, no, I'm against Amy Schumer. No. If that's what they negotiated, then that's what she's supposed to get.
Yeah.
What we're saying is, how come I'm $12.5 million different than Amy Schumer, $19.5 million different than Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, and the world was up in arms when they found out our sister Michelle Williams got $1,000 to Mark Wahlberg's $1.5 million. My question is, who's going to be up in arms about this? And see, when they say we go based off of, what we anticipate it to be. Now, I say this humbly.
Yeah.
I'm an international entertainer. And Heather B., if you wouldn't mind, I asked Heather B. to read this email that we got.
Okay.
And we shared it with Netflix, and then I'll give you Netflix response to after we share this email with them. Okay. Could you read that, please?
To someone named Ricky.
That's my attorney.
Okay, dear Ricky, greetings from India. I represent Sony Pictures Networks India. Our premium Hollywood movie channel is Sony Leplex HD. Will premiere Almost Christmas on February 4th, 2017. To create a big buzz around the movie, we request 20 to 30 minutes of Monique's time to interact with top journalists in India over a call. Monique draws a huge, and this is in bold letters, an unprecedented fan following in India. Audience across ages have widely appreciated her movies and contribution to the industry with her films, television roles, theater, books, and radio.
Yeah.
Her fans are eager to know about her career and journey with Almost Christmas, memorable learnings, experience, and future projects. In the past, we have facilitated these same interactions with such artists as, and they list Morgan Freeman, Susan Sarandon, and it goes on and on. We would really appreciate if you could accommodate this request as per her convenience. We are sure these interviews will make her fans in India immensely happy. Looking forward to watching this happen and waiting for a positive response.
Thank you, Heather B.
You're welcome.
And that's from?
That's from India.
India.
Now, we shared that with Netflix.
Yeah.
We shared that with Robbie Prohl. And he said, we get it. We understand it. And then my husband said, Mr. Prohl, could you please tell me the 3 black top female comedians that have careers like Kevin Hart, Martin Lawrence, Steve Harvey? And there was a pause that was so long till he came back and said, I appreciate what you're saying. However, our process is we give out deals based off of what we anticipate you'll bring to our audience. Now, when I say it ties all together, see, I couldn't accept that low offer because if I did, Heather B., I couldn't sleep at night. Because I am the most, and I say this humbly, I am the most decorated comedian alive. But if I accepted $500,000, what does Tiffany Haddish have coming? If I accept that, what does the black female comedian have coming? Because what they will say is, Monique accepted this, and she's got that. So what do they have coming? And when you have women like Kim Whitley, Cheryl Underwood, Julie Chan, and the little girl from the real Adrian, and these are 4 women of color, saying Monique needs to just let it go. Monique needs to be humble. Maybe if she apologizes, they'll let her back in. And I would ask those 4 women of color, did you ask any of the white women to apologize when they said they were violated by Harvey Weinstein? Did you ask any of them to be humble? Did you tell any of them if you speak too loud, it doesn't mean you're right? No, they didn't. So when I say it ties all in, see, it goes back to the blackball situation. And when Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lionsgate, they know what they put out was untrue. They know it so well, Sway, that when Tyler Perry called us from the Bahamas after they saw that piece at the Apollo, he said, Monique, you were right, and I was wrong.
Tyler Perry told you that.
Now, let me ask you something. If you heard him say that, if you heard Tyler Perry say, Monique, you were right and I was wrong, what do you think about that?
Well, I would commend him for admitting where he was wrong. Number one, because people typically don't do that.
Yes.
And then I would think, well, damn, maybe Mo was, what Mo was saying about being railroaded and 8-balled
Yes.
Has a
Black
lot of
boy.
a black hockey saying.
8-ball is cocaine.
Okay,
We know what you're doing, baby.
I'm too damn big to be 8-balling. I done lost
We know what
weight,
you're
but I
doing,
ain't
baby.
8-balling, Sway. I might be 7-balling,
You came down 100
but I ain't doing no
pounds.
8-balls, baby. I ain't
Them
doing. I
100
might be
pounds.
doing 2-balling, but I ain't doing no
Sway still
8-balls.
got 40s in the
Okay,
freezer.
you got 40.
But
He got 40s in the freezer.
Yeah.
I asked the question when I asked it directly to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because here you have a man saying, I was wrong. Well, if Tyler Perry was wrong, see, they were partnered.
Yeah.
It was Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Lionsgate. So if Tyler Perry has admittedly said, I was wrong, are they wrong too? I'm asking you.
I don't know what they said.
Well,
but-
I'm going to tell you.
Okay, yeah.
Because, see, what happens is, oftentimes as journalists, we're too afraid to answer the questions. We'll just listen. But I'm asking you from human being to human being. If someone puts something out there about you, if I left this studio and I left here and I said, Sway sexually assaulted me while I was there.
Yeah.
Now, Heather B and everybody sitting here watching, they saw that you did nothing like that. But they allowed me to go out there and say it, and none of them spoke up for you. Would you feel like that was wrong?
That's absolutely wrong.
So now I'm going to ask you again.
Then
Tyler Perry
that's
says
absolutely wrong.
that's absolutely wrong. So
Yes.
if he admits that he's wrong, and they allowed this lie, which I said to Tyler Perry, it's affected my livelihood. My family is hurting because these low offers keep coming in. And that black man says, as my husband says to him, would you want somebody to say the truth for you, Tyler? And he says, yes, I would. And when my movie Boo comes out, I'm going to tell the people that Monique was right. I can't talk to them now because y'all got it too hot in the streets, like we were selling kilos of cocaine.
Right.
Well, he said
Okay.
the 8-ball, Monique.
Right. Okay.
That's
So we're gonna tie it
We're
together.
gonna tie it together.
I can't
Yeah.
tell the people right now. And this is the same man that touched T.D. Jakes on the head and gave him $1 million, and T.D. Jakes did the electric boogaloo because Tyler Perry was anointed. So when my husband says, "Well, Tyler Perry, what would Jesus do?" What would Jesus do? And Tyler Perry, once again, we get that long pause. So what I am saying, it all ties in together because when those four entities, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Lionsgate, allowed that lie to go on, and simply because I would not work for free. So when Lee Daniels said, you got to play the game, see, that has a lot of meanings to it. Playing the game means if I should bend you over and rape you, you know not to talk because I can ruin your career. If I should put my penis in your mouth, you know not to talk because I can ruin your career. If I want you to be a slave and work for free, you know not to talk because I can ruin your career. And here's where it ties in together. See, people are saying, why are you including Oprah? Because Oprah Winfrey called me and she tried to convince me to come work for free. And because I didn't give Oprah Winfrey what she wanted, she sat back quietly and silently and watched another black woman be thrown under the bus over what she agreed with me and my husband was wrong. The same thing with Lee Daniels. He agreed that it was wrong. So this is all tied together. So when Netflix come in with this low offer, see, the buzz is she's difficult, she's demanding, and she's black. We definitely don't have to respect her. So that's why I'm saying we must boycott Netflix until they treat female comedians of color fairly.
Monique, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's open up the lines because I want to see what the people feel.
Okay, I'm going to have people call up 888-742-3345. Let us know how you feel. Lee Daniels came by the show.
He did, and I want to address that with you because
Okay.
as I watched that interview, I was saying, Sway, why won't you ask him
Okay.
the right question?
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to address it. Y'all stay right here, Sway in the morning.
Well, I guess she done took your break.
Okay.
She done segued your break.
I had to take us out, baby.
She done segued the
It was
break.
feeling
What's
so
that?
good to me the other
Monique,
day.
good morning. Trey, good morning. Trey,
I'm a wife her. It is.
I'm just happy to wait.
Yeah, we'll do one more break.
Nobody more bossed up. Girl, yes, and look, let me put my
What up,
on
Houston?
my neck.
What up?
Say, girl, wow.
All right. That's how you find people when you got the same born day.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
was a very special
Okay,
day.
Scorpios.
I'm just here digesting everything that Monique
We in the building.
It's serious.
Okay, it's real serious this morning. Y'all know what it is. Every time we come through, you know how we do. Ain't nothing but family here. Year after year. Ain't nothing but family here, year after year. All right? We live. Keep with me, bro. Start that. Let's just start that. Hey, Ro, what we doing? I'm messing with my sister. What's up, Houston?
Let me say this to y'all as y'all want, and I want us to go
What's
back
up,
to
Houston?
Because I'll knock off everybody else and I'll stay with people the whole time because this is so important for our community. Because people are asking how I feel about We're going to move. I'm going to talk to you. Yes, we can. Okay. Yes, we can.
I'm gonna give you this break.
You know, it's straight. She's trying to rearrange it, right?
No, I don't want to.
Coming with the challenge.
Hey, where my baby's
And the rubber band.
Wait a morning, Shade 45. Monique is here. Performing tonight at Levity Live, 7:30 and 9:45, and Saturday, that's tomorrow, 7 p.m. and 9:30.
Yep.
And we're talking about what she's going through with Netflix and what she's gone through with Lee Daniels and others, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and she's being very transparent. We're hearing information that none of us are normally privy to. So forgive me, Mo, if I look a little, shell shocked because I'm hearing conversations with Oprah that I've never even heard anybody have the gall to bring up in public. I'm hearing, behind the scene conversations that you have to expose so folks don't think you're coming from, the left field or anything. Lee Daniels came up here and we did have an interview with him, and I know you feel like we didn't ask him the right questions. Or
just one question.
Just one question.
Yes.
Not the rest of the interview, but I did ask him, would he ever work with you again? And here's what he said.
I'm very hurt by everything. I'm hurt that it's public. I love all of my actors, every one of them. She bared her soul to me.
Yeah.
And as do all of my actors. And I don't know where the black ball came from. I really don't know. I don't know. We are. Would I work with her again? Yes, I would work with her again.
Would you work with him?
Obviously
under the right circumstances.
Let me say this to you. As I've said to everybody, I would work with Lee Daniels again if we had a public conversation. If Lee Daniels was willing to come on Sway in the Morning and we really had this conversation, yes, because that is a brilliant director. And when he says, I don't know where the black ball come from, me and Lee Daniels had a conversation where he called me up. And he said, Mama, you've been blackballed. I've not changed my story. But every time you listen to Lee Daniels' story, that story seems to keep changing. And he sweats profusely. Now, if I was an FBI agent and I was interviewing someone like that, would I say that they may have been lying? I don't know. I'm just saying what I've seen off of, the Forensic Files show. But when you think about it and you go back through, my story has never changed. It's remained the same. So when you have three people that look like you and an entity called Lionsgate, and here's what's also disheartening with us. I'm going to give us a little bit of history. See, years ago, Eartha Kitt was calling for equality. And they labeled her a communist.
Yeah.
And they snatched that woman's livelihood. Yeah. Please tell me the black actresses that stood behind her. Do you know them, Heather B?
No.
How about you, Sway?
No.
Do you know in history where they said, Paul Robeson, he was calling for equality, and they called him a communist. Can you tell me the black actors that stood behind him? I'm not saying they didn't, but do you just know of any?
No.
So even as I'm looking in the room on my Periscope page, and I'm seeing people say, there are some people that's saying, and there are black women's faces that are popping up. Why don't Monique let that go? And don't you mess with Oprah Winfrey. And someone would say, what makes Oprah Winfrey different than any other woman walking the face of this earth other than her bank account? And because we get caught up in people's bank accounts, we believe they have all the answers. And that night that Oprah Winfrey got up on that stage at the Golden Globes, hashtag Time's Up, I appreciated that emotional speech. But I want every black woman listening to answer this question if you can. Heather B., do you remember the time Oprah Winfrey went to the Image Awards and got up on stage and talked about equality for black women?
No, the NCAA.
The NCAA Image Awards. Do you remember that time?
No.
I didn't watch it. No.
Okay, well, let me ask this, sweet baby. Do you remember a time when Oprah Winfrey came on the BET Awards and gave a speech about equality for women of color?
I can't recall enough to give a quote.
Okay, let me ask you, Sway, did you see her on the Stella Awards asking for equality?
That's the gospel awards.
That's the gospel.
Well, you know,
That's the black guy.
you know, he ain't see that.
I'm running it down because somebody probably saw her. Maybe one of your producers saw her at the Petty Pat Spades Championship game on 33rd and 7th, and she spoke for equality for black women.
Stella Awards. I'm like, no,
Right.
I know that one.
So the point I'm making is, that night, it was a very emotional speech.
Yeah.
But black women have to say, when do you speak up for us? See, hashtag Oprah Winfrey, black women need the support from white women like you too. Because without it, you see what happens. So we must speak up and we must speak out. And I understand why you're a little hesitant to speak, because you're in this business and in this industry. But because we're hesitant to speak, that's what allows the industry to do what it does. Because they know you're too afraid of losing your position. You're too afraid of people looking at you saying, Sway, wait a minute now. So I will just ask the questions and I'll be a good journalist. But I'll remove myself from being a human being. I won't talk to you to say, well, if that happened to me, I would want that to happen too. Because, see, you're a legend, Sway, in this game. People know Sway in the morning. So let's just say a young brother that's been doing it for 6 years, and he happens to be white. And they come up here and Sirius gives him a deal 10 times yours. Are you having a problem with that?
I'm hashtagging. I'm protesting.
Eight balling.
Yeah,
So
I'm
when-
eight balling.
When you get people to say, be quiet. That's why Harvey Weinstein was able to do it for 30 years. And because people are saying, we're so scared of Oprah, we won't speak up, I must. Because those 4 entities affected my livelihood. And they sat back and they did nothing. And like I tell people, I could not include Oprah Winfrey had she not called me to be a part of the team trying to convince me to come work for free. So with this Netflix deal and all the other offers I've been given, they've been so low.
Monique, when you say work for free, just to make it clear, what do you mean work for free?
Let me tell you what I mean.
Okay.
I got paid $50,000 for Precious.
50?
I got paid $50,000 for Precious. It was an independent film. Lee Daniels called me up and said, Mama, I got something, baby. Now, is this, can we cuss? Okay, because I want to give you the exact words he said. Mama, I got some shit for you, baby. We gonna kill him with this one. He sent me the script. When I got to page 10, I called Lee Daniels. I said, nigga, what is this?
Yes.
He was like, bitch, I know, right? Okay. Then he says, if we do this shit right, we getting awards out the ass. And I said, Lee, I'm not in it for an award. If we save one life, we've already won. Because I know this monster. And that was that. Now, after all of this happened, I get $50,000. I never complained about what I got paid because I signed up for that.
Right.
I agreed to that. Now Lee Daniels was saying, oh my God, nobody wants the movie because who wants to see 2 big fat black women on screen? And Oprah Winfrey would not return his calls. So he called me up in tears that they were not respecting him. Now Precious catches on. And it goes to Sundance. And it becomes a major, it's the biggest deal at Sundance, okay? Still not complaining what you paid me, that's what I agreed to, but my deal was with Lee Daniels. I had no deal with Lionsgate, who actually purchased the movie. That's not with who my deal is with. I promoted the movie so well in the United States of America, Tyler Perry called me into his dressing room at the Hoodie Awards that Steve Harvey was having. He said, Monique, listen, if you get nominated, your next film will be $3 to $5 million. If you win it, it'll be $6 to $8 million.
Yeah.
So you really should go and promote this movie. I said, Tyler, I don't work for free. I can't sing and dance. They have to pay me for that. And then he said, well, I'm going to let you know I ain't scared of these white boys, so I'm just telling you what I think is best for you. And I said, well, Tyler, you can write me the check. I don't care where the check comes from, but y'all got to pay me for my services. Well, I'm not into giving away free money, and I'm not into working for free. Okay? So that one didn't work.
Okay.
Now I get a call from Oprah Winfrey. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the bed with my husband and my babies, and we're watching Curious George. Oprah Winfrey says, what is it going to take to get you here? Can I send you my jet? I said, sister, no, thank you. I'm in the bed with my man and my babies. I'm good. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind, at the time I had the Monique show.
Uh-huh.
I was doing the campaign, not the campaign, but I was doing all of the Academy shows, making the rounds, and I was on a comedy tour. But now I'm going to send you my jet to come get you, and you come on up here. I can't do that, sister. Then she got on the phone with my husband. And then my husband said to her, why is it that everyone wants Monique to work for free? At what point do we draw the line in the sand? Then Oprah Winfrey went to tell about the line she had to draw into the sand. Then it became the Oprah Winfrey Show, because she has to talk about now how powerful she is and the decisions she has to make. And my husband said, well, what makes Monique different than you? Once again, a long pause. So the reason why Oprah Winfrey is included, because she then agreed. She agreed. I understand when you have to take that position. So why ever would one black woman sit back and watch another black woman be thrown under the bus when you agreed that what I was doing was right? So that's why I have to include her. Then when we say Tyler Perry, like I keep telling the same story. But what becomes disheartening is when you look at me as a journalist and not my brother. And when you sit Lee Daniels in this seat and you talk to him as a journalist and not your... Why am I $19.5 million different than my brothers Chris and Dave? And why would a black woman named Oprah Winfrey stand back and not say anything? Why would Tyler Perry admit that he was wrong, but not come out publicly and say, I was wrong? So I'm going to open up the lines right now, and we're going to discuss it. Heather B., you have a question, sugar?
I do too. Really quickly, do you think that, Monique, does it come down to issue that who's asking? Do you think they have an issue maybe with your husband representing you? Should you have this?
Let me answer that, and that's a great question. See, there was a time I had white representatives.
Okay.
And every time I would say, how come my numbers are this? We're going to get them on the next one. We'll get them on the next one. Don't you worry. We'll get them on the next one. And yes, it is a problem because my husband's a black man. And he's asking questions that can't be answered. So that's a problem for a place called Hollywood, because we can't answer why we're giving her these low offers, because no one's ever questioned us on it. They've just accepted the offers. So now who is this man to question us while we're giving her these offers? So yeah, that has a part to do with it too, because what Netflix also asked me was, I'm sorry, they asked me about a white agent that I have. Are you still with Doug Etley? And my husband didn't even understand why they would be asking that, but he said, no, we're not. So, okay, now we can't get a part of this, and we have to solely deal with Monique and her husband and the attorney? That's not how we do business. This is not new, y'all. Because I'll ask you, Heather B., name me the female black comedian that's had a ride like Martin Lawrence.
Female black comedian.
Name me the female. I'm the closest one.
Yeah, you.
I'm the closest
so
one.
let me ask you, when the award shows are, I didn't know that artists or actors campaign for the Oscars during the award show season. Do all actors get paid when they're campaigning?
Well, that's a great question. When you make $20 million for a film, you've been paid to promote. When you make less than $500,000 for a film, and they say in your contract, you got to promote domestically, not internationally. Why is that different? See, there's a gossip journalist named John Mary. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with that brother. He does a lot of the gossip columns. And I remember him saying, Monique's husband is messing this up for her. And he's destroying her career. And because Will Smith said, when you do a movie, you do everything. Well, Will Smith is a $20 million man. I got $50,000 for that movie. And when Tyler Perry says, you know what? I'm going to give you what I believe. I believe I got paid $400,000, $500,000. I'm going to just send that to you. And we had to say, no, thank you, brother. Don't play us in chump change. Just clear my name. Remember what's love got to do with it? And Tina Turner said, just let me have my name.
So in a not even an ideal situation, what do you would hope to see at the end of this? Would you like to see everybody come together?
What I hope to see at the end of this, Sway, because see, I've accepted Hollywood may never call on me again. And I've accepted that my sisters may not rally behind me. So I may be that one, but I'll be on the other side of history when they tell the story. But what side do you want to be on? Because they'll tell yours too. So when you say, what do I want? I want Netflix to come back and say, because we said she was a legend, we're going to give her a $20 million payday like we gave to Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. That's what I want Netflix to say. I would like for Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Lionsgate to come out and clear my name. And do you know what happens when they damage your name? Do you know what happens when someone takes your reputation and they damage it in a community where they already don't want to pay you fairly? See, they want me to come to India or do some things for Almost Christmas.
Yeah.
But when you look at all the principals in Almost Christmas, Danny Glover, Monique, Gabrielle Union, Kimberly Elise, the 4 principals, we were all paid less than $1 million. Do the math. We were all paid less than $1 million to do that movie. Not less $1 million a piece.
Yeah.
No, $1 million total.
Oh, all your salaries combined?
My God.
You heard what I said?
Wait.
You heard what I said? See, there are conversations that need to be had because when you have, and it all ties together. So they want me to do this big press in India because the movie's so successful. But we were all paid less than $1 million to do that movie. And someone would say, Monique, why would you sign up to do that? Because Heather B, you're looking like, well, why would you do that? Because when I sit down at a table with Will Packer along with my husband, and that man looks us in our eyes, and he says, I would like to offer you a 3-picture deal and a sitcom, but I need you to do me this solid. That's why I did it.
Got it.
So when you have a black producer that walks you to the slave ship, but he tells you you're going on a vacation, and then they start putting the chains around your ankles, and you look back and you say, I thought you said we was going on a luxury vacation, and they wave to you as they're taking you to the bottom of the ship. We're still facing that today.
I'm going to take a couple of calls. On your IMDb, I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
Almost Christmas was the last major listing I'm looking at, right?
Yes.
Yes. So people aren't even giving you a chance? Like, what would it take?
You have to ask the question, how much more do I have to do?
Yeah.
How much more? Even with Almost Christmas, I was nominated for an Image Award. How much more does a black woman... See, someone would say, where's the Vidal? Where's Marsha Warfield? Where's all of our ones that came before us? Moms Mabley did not die a rich woman, but we'll do a documentary about her and make money. But did she die a wealthy woman for all that she contributed to this industry and this art? Who is the black woman Richard Pryor, Sway? I'm asking you. Can you name her?
I would say Monique.
And when Paul Mooney says to me, who was Richard Pryor's best friend, you know Richard Pryor called you Mrs. Richard Pryor. And you know in the community of us, the older brothers, we look at you as Richard Pryor, just in a female way. But Netflix felt like I was only worth $500,000. Can you make that make sense?
No, I can't make that make sense, Mo. You have
Sway
great
like,
questions,
bitch, stop
but-
trying to ask me to answer these
Damn
damn
it.
questions.
You know, I'll take it, but damn. Because it's all confusing. You're talking about people like yourself that we all revere, admire, love, inspired by, aspire to be. You know, so when you hear these stories, the real life is when the person is up here, there is a difference between what we discuss a lot of times with cameras and mics in front of us than how we discuss things with cameras and mics off. With you, I feel comfortable, like you say, I'm your brother, you my sister. So it gets a little different. When others come that you don't really know, you know, and you invite them into this space and you really don't know their story, a lot of time, nobody who you mentioned would ever tell us the stories that you just told.
Right.
That's why Girls Trip was
Right.
considered a low-budget film, but it made over $100 million because nobody will talk about it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Swag.
No, well, I'm just saying, nobody. So when you look around the room, you're seeing people with shell-shocked faces because all of this is it's not in a concentrated dosage. You're giving history. You're getting benchmarks in history that people don't realize that what's happening, what we've seen happen in the past, we're now witnessing happening to you. And you're screaming this out loud and nobody's coming to your defense.
Well, that's not true.
Who's coming to your defense?
I just did a morning show with Bernie and Sid, two white men, one a Republican and one a Democrat, but one Jewish and the other one, he loves Trump. And that white man sat on that microphone and said, this is flat out racism and I'm leaving Netflix. Now he's white, but when I sit with my brothers and sisters, I get shell-shocked faces. Because we got to be careful. So why were they so comfortable? Because when you say I'm confused,
well, my shell-shock face,
it's the truth.
It's not because I don't care about being careful. Like none of those names you mentioned have paid my bills, over the years. My shell-shock face is you think everybody is a big family and looking out for each other when you reach a certain level. So to hear these things that this kind of pettiness, if you will, that could lead to damaging somebody's life happens around these folks who are at the mountaintop. That's the shell shock face. Like, when does the bullshit stop?
It's so not petty.
Yeah.
It's so real.
Yeah.
Because when I say to you, name me the female black comedian that had a ride like Kevin Hart, Martin Lawrence, Melissa McCarthy, you can't. So what's confusing? We've just accepted it. But now when you have someone saying, I'm not willing to accept that, because there's a baby that's not born yet. See, I read Hattie McDaniel's story. Treatment is still the same. Nothing different. At what point do we say, time up, hashtag me too, hashtag help us, hashtag support, hashtag what we doing? When do we get to that place? So I'm obligated, Sway.
Yeah.
It is in my spirit. Do you hear me, brother? It is in my spirit to speak up. See, I spoke to Oprah Winfrey to her face. I don't want y'all to think that I'm that sister. We had an Oscar dinner or something where it was just all the Oscar women, black women, and nominees, and I had to look that woman in her face in front of those other women. And we had to have a real conversation. They were shell-shocked, too, because they were looking like, oh, that's Oprah Winfrey. But you're wrong. And we can't be afraid to have those conversations. Because as I look at you, Heather B, as a black woman in radio, and I ask you, what is your salary? And then I go ask your white counterparts, do you think it's going to be different?
Don't get me locked up, Monique, this weekend, because then I won't be able to join you tomorrow. Now you're going to start a fight.
I got a little extra bail money.
I don't want to start a fight.
Joking.
I want to start an open dialogue that we say.
So my shell shock is, I just assume that everybody's taking care of everybody.
Right.
It's not what you're
Right.
telling me about.
I know, baby.
It's the
You
fact
think
that
everybody like me and you. When we see each
That's
other
what
and
I'm
we
saying.
hug,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
believe it's real.
Yeah.
I did too, Sway, so I understand that until you're faced with it.
Okay.
See, I did too believe that Oprah Winfrey called me as my sister when she called me up to tell me my brother was coming on her show. You called me as my sister. And she shared some very personal things with me that to this day I will never share. But you didn't tell me my mama was coming. But you called me as my friend. But you didn't tell me my mama was coming on your show. So those are conversations that we're too afraid to have out loud. But when you start piecing it all together, then it makes sense. So I get where you're coming from because I was that way too. Oh my God, it's this one, it's that one, it's this
Yeah.
one. Well, I've been to the Wiz. And I've been behind the curtain.
saw what's behind the curtain.
And I saw it was a little man saying, oh, I was trying to fly my balloon and it crashed. Now, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I can't hold on to it.
I'm opening up the phone lines. You guys, let us know your thoughts. JC from San Antonio. Good morning, JC.
Go Spurs.
Hey, Jay.
Yep.
What's up, baby?
All right.
I love you, and I honestly am a fan of all parties involved. And Sway, you said it best, man. I really hope that at the end of the day, you guys could put whatever it is to the side, come together, and bring y'all talents and resources together
Yes.
to open up opportunities for other young sisters and brothers that's looking up to all of you guys.
Yes.
I love you, Monique. You're one of the realest persons I've ever met. I know you meet a lot of people, but I've met you before. And that show you did from prison when you let the young lady sing.
Yes.
You. And you can't put a price on that.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate you, brother. Now, let me ask you, Jay, just to get your opinion. Do you think I should get the $20 million that Dave and Chris are getting because Netflix consider me a legend as well?
Hell yeah, and I'm up Netflix.
Thank you, baby. We appreciate your call, Jay.
Is that your hashtag? Dan from Maine. What up, Dan?
Hey. Hey, baby. Hey, boo.
You said, Joe, I can't believe I got on. First time, long time.
Thank you.
Monique, I don't want to take the wind out of your sails here, but
Sure.
everyone, every name you dropped, I've heard of. I had to pull you up on Google.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, why not go to like Amazon or Hulu?
What?
Maybe take this as an opportunity to kind of take it to the man, if you will, I guess.
Good question.
Well, let me ask you this. Who says I'm not going to those places? However, should I not speak out on Netflix?
No, I suppose not.
Okay, we appreciate that, baby. Because no one said I'm not going to those other places, but I'm asking you, should I not speak out on the racial biasness of Netflix?
No, I mean, I guess not. I guess I don't know. I mean, I heard of all the other names. You know, Dave Chappelle, Amy Schumer,
Yes.
Mark Lawrence, etc., etc.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if you have you never want to pay full price for anything, anyways. I don't know.
I understand, brother, and we want to thank you for your call. And here's what's beautiful. He gave me actually more wind to my sail.
Yeah.
Because when you say, well, why not just go to those places? What that is saying is, black women, be quiet. Be quiet. Why should I have to go to other places? They give away those deals. Why should I have to go anywhere else with my comedian brothers and sisters? You see, they came to me. I didn't call Netflix and ask for a deal. Netflix came to me. So why should I have to go anywhere else and just not speak about this? So thank you for the call, sweetness.
Dan, thanks for your call. Hey, Dan, you're a citizen, too.
Play in the morning.
All right, let me see. Let's go to Lawrence in Illinois. Lawrence, what up?
What up, L?
Yo, what up?
What up, boo? Hey, baby.
What's up, Lawrence?
It's cold up here. You know how it is. Monique, I love you, girl. You're a positive influence. My daughter loves you, and fuck Netflix, man. Check them chains, man. Don't let nobody ever take what what I'm saying, your worth. You know what I mean? The only thing I have a problem with is I don't want them to Kaepernick you. You know what I mean? I don't want them to. I want to see more work from you. I want to see more, positive stuff because, like I said, in the day and age now, everything is just moving so fast. Seeing good people like you, especially Sway in the morning, I've seen you guys on the street, on the pavement, getting book bags out to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people I rock with. So, just keeping all that positivity, I rock with you, Monique. I pray for you and your family, and I hope that you guys can get this resolved. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question, baby?
Anything you want, baby girl.
Do you think I should get the $20 million like Dave and Chris?
Oh, you motherfucker right. You working with that. And not only that, to speak on this, it's not about that you produce it, because guess what? It's going to be brought when you bring Monique to the stage. And I can personally say that, because I know what you can bring, girl. You go, girl. You keep on that rightness now.
I love you, brother. And whenever I'm in your town, you got 2 tickets, baby.
L.
Hey, Mo, I have to bring my other brother in here. Leonard Ellaby is here.
Come on,
money,
baby.
not the money team.
That's the money team.
Not the money team.
Money team.
But you know what?
Not the money team.
How you
Yeah,
doing?
and he got a big fight tomorrow, Earl Spence and Lamont Peterson, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's,
Yes.
Working. Stay working.
That's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Barclays?
Barclays.
Okay. People can watch it?
People can tune in to Showtime.
Where they streaming? Talk to him, fam.
That's a big fight.
It's a big fight. People, they're still trying to replace Floyd. So, they're trying to find that next draw.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of young guys out there that are very, very good young fighters in the sport.
Let me ask, can I bring Leonard in?
I would love
You
to.
got to bring the
Brother
money team
Leonard
in on this.
Bring Brother
Come on,
Leonard in.
man.
Like,
I'm going to give him my seat.
You going to give up your seat, bro?
Come on, it's the money team,
That's my
man.
brother.
I don't know if you know what's going on, but I got Monique. We've been talking about dealings that she had with Netflix, where they pretty much lowballed her and what they wanted to offer her for a comedy comedy special compared to Amy Schumer, which they've offered $11 million and gave it $2 million more on top of that. And Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, who got $20 million or more for the episodes, for the projects that they did, they offered her $500,000. Now, considering all that she's done, her tenure, who she is, and
the Oscar,
the Oscar. Did we say that? We haven't
right.
mentioned that.
We keep passing that by. The Oscar.
Like, since you won the Oscar, how many movies have you done?
Well, since I've won the Oscar, I've done actually 3 movies that my husband and I have produced,
That
along
you
with other
produced,
people.
yeah.
Blackbird. We also have done Interwoven, and I'm sorry, the 2, and then Bessie for HBO. So there's been things that have happened. But when you say the offers that come in from Hollywood, see, it's all tied into the blackball. And if we got you blackballed, we can offer you $5,000. We know it's totally ridiculous, but okay, come on. So that's what we're faced with right now.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah. And so now Monique is, letting her story be heard, telling her story, people trying to shut her up, but calling out to us.
I'm calling out to us
Right.
to say, at what point do we stop it?
Yeah.
At what point do we rally behind and say, see, you may have a grandbaby one day, and she may be a comedian. And then she's got to call her Pop-Pop and say, Pop-Pop, they offered me these low wages, but I got an Oscar, I got a BAFTA, I got a Golden Horse. These are awards from around the world.
Yeah.
I've got all these awards, Pop-Pop, what should I do? What would you tell her?
Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay on that grind. Keep pressing. You know, there is a way. There's a way. I mean, continue to keep that door down.
And tell your story. And see, we're all learning too, Mo. You know, everybody's learning.
We are.
We're learning right now.
And I got to tell you, I'm glad you're Floyd's manager. And we've seen Floyd's career. And we've seen that brother make money that's never been heard of. So I want to say congratulations, because he can't do it by himself.
Thank you.
He needs representation in that room, having the fight that he can't have, because he's got to be in that ring. So when people say, Monique, your husband, I've had white representation, and none of them have fought for me. They've always told me the next one. And when I get black men to say about my husband, who is a black man, he gonna ruin her career. But that man is in there fighting and having conversations that no white agent or manager has ever had for me. And then when I did have a white manager, I remember him saying, and I respected him for his honesty. He said, Monique, our best interest is not the talent. You come and go. We have to have relationships with the studios and the networks, so we don't fight that hard for you. Well, needless to say, he lost his position, but I respected his honesty.
Gave you the game.
So we can't be afraid of our own representing us. And when you see this brother sitting to my left, who represents Floyd Mayweather, what they call him? Money Floyd. Don't they call him that?
Money Mayweather.
Money Mayweather. He be outside, and they ain't never gave me no tickets, but that's another story. We're going to deal with this one.
That's not what
We're going to deal with this one,
They
baby.
don't give tickets. You guys, no, they don't do that.
But we must keep speaking up.
But their plight is similar to yours. And if you look at the parallels to what you guys had to do in boxing and rewrite the rules and take control over your own, your own talent, what you had to offer in terms of Floyd, you guys promote your own. You were doing things that was disrupting the business initially, and I'm sure y'all got a lot of backlash from it. Like, she's suffering backlash. People don't want to open doors, open opportunity, but his talent rang through. Is that accurate?
And ultimately, that's what prevails, and you have to just keep pushing, and essentially, when you really look at the elite athletes and entertainers out there, there's very few that have African American representation, and especially in our situation, this was a first.
Yeah.
When you look at the other guys, you don't see any of us around. And we just refuse to take no for an answer. And ultimately that's what you have to do. Continue to press, continue to keep the faith, staying positive. Obviously, make sure you're very prepared and have all the information and. You know what you can do.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Monique.
Tell me, baby.
I'm not going to support Netflix or watch Netflix until they confront you, until you guys could sit down and have a conversation and you could tell me, okay, Sway, you get the green light.
Sway, I will keep you updated.
Okay.
And what I will ask you, brother, I will ask you to ask Floyd to do the same thing. What I would ask is for Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, what do y'all think I should get? We've got to call out to the community at this point, because if I am the most decorated comedian alive and I'm offered $500,000, what does my sisters have coming? See, Tiffany Haddish was brilliant.
Yeah.
What does she have coming? Leslie Jones, what she got coming?
Right.
Jess, what she got coming? Because what they will say is, we gave y'all top one this, so what you think we're going to give you? Let's stand together and boycott Netflix. I appreciate your time, Sway.
Absolutely, you my sister.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Sway.
Yeah, Tone, you here?
Ain't nobody asked me what asked me what Netflix offered for my comedy special.
What they give you, baby?
Nothing.
Okay, but you gonna show them tonight.
I just wanted to tell them that.
Okay, but tonight at Levity Live, baby, when I say to you, if you really want to get to know me, you really want to get to see what's happening, come on out to now. I don't know if there's any more tickets, but if Floyd is in town, though he didn't give me a damn ticket, y'all got tickets at the door. Okay, Floyd, I know you listening. Mm-hmm.
We pay for our own tickets.
Okay, I take it back. I take it back, Floyd. Oh, I ain't got no problem when I'm wrong. Floyd, I want to say I don't need no free tickets to come to not one of your fights, but if I can just get some comps for backstage.
A pass or two,
I need free tickets.
Okay, Leonard, it's always great to see you, man.
No doubt.
Next time, sit and talk with us a little longer. You know, our sister has something that's going on. I thought it was
Totally
important to be
understand
heard.
and very respectful of that.
Okay, thank you. But tomorrow night is the fight.
Tomorrow night's the fight, and we have it's going to be an exciting card. We have two of our youngest fighters, Dylan Price and Richardson Hitchison, fighting on the card. We also have February 17th, Danny Garcia, he's fighting Brandon Rios live on Showtime, and Ronald Gaville versus David Benavidez for the WBC World Championship.
Okay, man, make sure y'all tune in to that TMT. I'm a member. I don't have a jacket or nothing, Mo, but I'm a member.
Oh, we got you, Sway. We got you.
I don't have no gloves, no earmuffs,
address so I can ship you some stuff.
Okay, Mike Muse, real quick. Mike Muse got his new show.
Hey!
Congrats, Mike.
Thank you so much. What's up, citizens? Just a reminder, this is I Am Mike Muse. Tune into my show tomorrow, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this POTUS channel 124. So we have a fantastic episode on the topic culture appropriation versus appreciation. But what's interesting, though, is I'm talking about it through the lens of art and economics. I think it's very pivotal as it's time that we're having this week discussion on race, DACA, immigration, identity. It is going to be amazing. And the soundtrack, Sway, the music behind it is phenomenal.
Okay, so that's tomorrow, 1 p.m. on POTUS?
POTUS, Eastern Standard Time. And go to my I Am Mike Muse on Instagram to see my promotional trailer for the upcoming episode for tomorrow.
POTUS is channel
124.
You want to reach out to B? She's going to be with Andy Cohen Sunday.
I'll be with Andy Cohen Sunday night on Watch What Happens Live. I'm behind that bar, mixing drinks and doing my thing with Puff. So I'll be doing that. Live. I'm nervous, though. I got tomorrow. Make sure you follow me. I'll be with Monique in the morning. Where we going?
Innovations in Queens, New York, with the White Hope Jr. Dance Your Pounds Off.
Okay.
Yes, Queens, New York.
Tonight. I'm at the happy hour.
You dance better though when you sip.
Then Saturday, since Leonard is here, I'll be at the fight.
You going?
You're gonna be out of town.
I'm gonna be in LA. OQ, go ahead.
Check me out, OQ Shoots on Instagram. OQ Shoots.
Tracy G.
Twitter, Instagram, @it's Tracy G, ITSTRACYG, and make sure you visit my site, she'sbeautyandthebeast.com.
DB, come on.
It's really DB everywhere.
DB is here today. Wonder?
At DJ Wonder.
Tone X, man, how much they offer you?
Come on, man. Follow Grown Man at Tone X Comedy. And listen, me and Mr. Ellaby, he already said I'm part of the money team. He said he going to go ahead and fund them dispensaries that I'm doing. It's going to be called Grown Man Kush Candy. All right, Mr. Ellaby. All right, baby.
How can they reach you? Social
Yeah, I have handles. I don't even know what they are. My team. I love my Mayweather Promotions team.
That's how you reach them. That's money talk right there, Monique. First of all,
yes, baby.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Take your time.
Let me take my time. I can't think of the word. It's a feeling that I can't really put the words, but you empower us. You give us courage, and a lot of us come into the game with it, and like you said, it gets lost with success and compromise. And And sometimes you need folks to remind us, to keep us on the ground who we are, where we came from, and why we got into this. So what you're doing is necessary. And I know it's probably upsetting a lot of people who got a lot of big names, but like you said, they're no different from you and me. And it's about the bigger picture. So this equality fight is real on every level. And if it can happen to somebody who's been as successful as you have been in your career, it can happen to anybody. And you gave a lot of great benchmarks in history of people that we've seen it happen to. So we hear you here, you know, and sometimes we're not going to always ask the right questions of folks because nobody knows the story like you guys do. And we don't know the other side really because nobody on the other side is giving us what you're giving us. But I want to say thank you because a lot of people look at us on TV and these movie screens and hear us on these mics and they buy into these personas. And so when real shit happens, it's so real that we think it's fake. Or we can't really buy into it. Like, what do you mean this is happening? Even I'm like, no, man, all of you guys are friends, right? This would never happen with me and Heather B.
Hell no, because I'll fight Sway right up in this studio, Monique, for my $2.
I'll jump on his ass right with you, baby. We a tag team him.
And that's okay. And then we go all bounce up and do some choreography. Marky Mark and Funky Bunch. I'm cool with that.
No doubt, though. He right, though.
But we're going to do what we can to stay human in this. And that's what I've always tried to do on my platforms, even on MTV, all this stuff we do. Let me tell you, I love these guys for what they accomplish because I know what you're accomplishing. It's inspiring our youth. So my daughter's going to watch this interview, who's 19, and it's going to let her know it's okay to fight for yourself, and it's okay to fight for your community and others like you. So thank you. I'm going to say thank you for that and bringing that realness up here. I'm always going to be your brother.